Hey y'all. So I am back with another full-length video. This probably is my second one of the year, and this is my second purchase of the year from Louis Vuitton, and it was the Trio Toilette set. And I want to kind of show you guys what they look like, which I'm sure you've seen. I'm sure lots of videos are popping up about them. So I'll show you what mine look like and kind of tell you a little bit about why I decided to buy these in my low buy year. So I'm buying things with a little more intention, really kind of trying to scrutinize my purchases, especially any kind of luxury purchases or larger purchases. So I want to just kind of briefly put out there why I thought it was worth it to get these three. So let's start with the fact that I already had the original 15. It's got that original interior, and I bought mine when there were still date codes. I'm not sure if it's going to show up or not, but this one does have a date code in it. And it's kind of funny that I even got this because back in, I want to say March or April of 2021, my husband and I were walking around Easton Town Center, and we were passing Louis, and he wanted to go in and I didn't. And he was like, come on, let's just go in. And I was like, let's not, let's just pass it by. And that's because, you guys, I know me, and sometimes I'm trying to be good and I don't want to be enticed. I don't want to be tempted to buy something just because I didn't have anything I wanted at that particular time, so I didn't want to go in. We ended up walking in because he was like, there's no line. And that's funny because back in 2021, there would be a line outside of Louis Vuitton. I have not seen a line probably in the last 2 years, but this was still kind of in the middle of the pandemic. So yeah, they were keeping people outside, only letting so many people in, and there happened to be no line. So he's like, ooh, let's go in. So we went in. I kind of had like this attitude of, I don't really want to look at anything because I don't really want to buy anything. And then bam, I look in the case that was nearest to the door, and this was there. And I was like, oh, I thought those were discontinued. And whoever I was talking to, it wasn't my current client advisor. They were like, yeah, this is our last one. And I was like, dang, I really wanted these pieces. So I was, even though I couldn't get all three, I was like, all right, I'll get this one. And at the time, if I remember correctly, y'all, it was $480, $480 or $490, something like that. And then I did kind of scour the website. I asked them to see if any other stores had the 19 and the 26, and they didn't. So I settled for getting this little cutie. So I used her a few times, but I always kind of felt salty that I didn't have the whole set, and I can't tell you why. For whatever reason, I just thought of them as a set and wanted the set. So I always kind of had, I don't know, this weird kind of feeling about just having the one, and had actually decided to go ahead and put it up for sale. And then I heard about these three, and this was recent. Like I just had recently listed this for sale on my Poshmark store. And I'm telling you guys, I heard if there was chatter in the bag streets about these three being released as a set, I did not hear that chatter. I knew nothing about it. I tell you what, I think they were released like on April 5th. Don't quote me. But I heard zero. And then I was just scrolling through Instagram one day, and one of those pages that has a client advisor in some other state who's always showing whatever is available, whatever's new. I don't really see her page a lot, but I'll see it every now and then. She was showing these three, and I was like, oh, what is that? So I could not get to my phone fast enough. I texted my client advisor, who's been my client advisor at least 3 years. I'm actually surprised she's still around, because those client advisors, they turn over quite a bit. It seems like there's always new faces in Louis, but she's been my client advisor 3 or 4 years. And I was like, hey, is this in our local boutique? And she was like, I don't think this is even released yet. She was like, let me get back with you. And then maybe 5 minutes later, she was like, we have one, just one, and it was released like yesterday or the day before. I was like, I'm coming in today, put it to the side. And so actually she sent me a payment link. I paid for it and had my husband pick it up that day. And honestly, it's been a while since I've been excited about something that I've been excited about a purchase, a luxury purchase. But this had been on that kind of residual wish list I had had from years ago. It was something I thought I would never be able to get from Louis. I mean, I just thought, they discontinued it, so that's that. I looked on the secondhand, pre-loved, used market, whatever you want to call it, and the prices, you guys. I was really only looking to get the 26. I felt like I could do without the 19. The prices, I could just never stomach. I just couldn't do it. Knowing how much it was, new, people had them at always over, I never saw it under $1,000. It's always $1,200, $1,400, $1,500. And I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't. So I never did. And when, earlier this month, when I was able to buy these, I was like, wow, it's a good thing that I never did buy anything on the secondhand market. Now, moving right along to price point, the other thing that surprised me, in addition to the fact that Louis decided to release these, was that they were at such a reasonable price point. Knowing Louis, I figured these would be like $2,000, especially knowing the popularity. I just thought, they'll put these out there over $2,000. They play in our faces like that, that people will buy them. Would I have bought them at a higher price point? I don't know. What I do know is the price point they were at made me snatch them up. I was very shocked, and I will be shocked if they stay at this price for very long. And I really don't know why. I couldn't even, guess as to why Louis put them at this price point, but I'm glad that they did. The only negative is that you have to buy them as a set. And if you only wanted a particular size and you felt, you were feeling like, well, I'd rather just pay a lesser price for the one size that I want, you're not going to be able to do that. You have to buy the whole set. For some people, they may just be like, man, I wish they sold them separately. Personally, I'm glad they're a set. What you will know, many of you, if you've already watched videos, is in addition to the fact that they're chipped, the other thing is they have these new interior colors. So the 15 is like a fuchsia. It's like a darker pink. Let's see if that gives you a good look as to how it compares to what the old ones look like. There's a dark, like, fuchsia pink in there, and of course they used to just be that kind of tan color. I will say there's a difference in how they feel, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to describe it, but this one has what do I want to say? It's not as smooth as this one feels. This one feels smoother, more wipeable. This one feels, it has more of a grainier is not the word. It has some kind of texture that just doesn't feel the same as this one. And I don't know how to describe it, y'all. I'm sorry. But other than that, they look the exact same. My older one is made in Spain. This newer set says made in France. I don't see any size differences. There might be a slight color difference on the newer one, but that just could be because my old one, I don't know, is a few years old, and maybe the motifs are just changing after you have them for a while. But other than that, they look exactly the same. Here is the 19. It's got a beautiful red, and I don't have the original, obviously, of the 19, so I can't compare them, but yeah, I love the pop of red. I love the pop of fuchsia. I will be honest, in the 26, I don't love this pop of pale pink, light pink, Barbie pink. I don't know what kind of pink this is. Baby pink. It's some kind of pink. It is not floating my boat, but it's not a deal breaker. It's okay. If I, let me tell you guys, if I could have had my choice, I would have liked them to release the trio with the original tan coloring, like basically no difference. I like the tan interior, and that's just because I don't know. I like a pop of color, but I don't always like a pop of color in everything. I think I'm going to just give my personal opinion, and I have not watched anybody else's videos on this trio. I know that they are on the rise. I know that people are putting them out there, but I haven't watched any because I try to stay off of watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube these days. I do consume a good amount of Instagram, and that's all I really have room for. But I personally think the reason they release these with new colors is I don't think it's just for style or just for design. I think it's to combat fakes, personally. I think they want to make it a little harder for people to duplicate their stuff. You're gonna have to get this color just right? So I'm just thinking that's the reason they didn't put them back out in a tan. I do think it also, I think Louis likes to release something, or if it's like reimagined or re-released, I think they like to put a unique stamp on it. So for those who have the original, you have the original because it has that tan interior. For those who have the newer ones that are now released in 2024, maybe that group, that audience, that buyer, they want them to feel like they have something special, new and different. So they've added this, this feature, which is this different color. So I think it might be twofold, is to make the new buyer feel like they have something unique and kind of that marks that this is the re-release. And then the other thing is to make it more difficult for people to make replicas, because you're going to have to get this color exactly right. And maybe they're thinking that will be difficult. I don't know, because I don't know anything about replicas, so I don't know, but that's my thoughts. I just should mention that back maybe I don't know what year it was, but they did, when they released the one with the leather. Let me show you. So I had bought the one with the leather, and it looks like that was 2 years ago, according to my video. The Posh Toilette M or NM. And it had the leather down the sides, the leather interior, and then those leather slots. And I had it for maybe 2 weeks, and I was like, you know what? This just isn't it. It's just doing too much. This leather, it was nice, but I don't know, guys. I just thought it was doing too much, so I decided to return it. And I feel like whenever you're trying to scratch an itch with you have an itch for a particular bag, a particular piece, a particular SLG, and you try to scratch that by buying something similar, I find that it never works. It just doesn't work, and you end up wasting your money. And so in this case, I had enough sense to say, you know what, this isn't what I really want. I'm going to return it and let that be that. Now, I don't typically talk about pricing or sizes, like measurements, on my page, because those things are easily found just by going to the website. But because I happen to have the sticker, this is the price. And again, talking about Louis, we're not talking about somebody who would go get their pouches from Target. You can't compare this kind of price as reasonable compared to something you'd get from Target or Walmart. But for Louis, this is a reasonable price point for these pieces. For it to be under $2,000 is just blows me away. They feel well made. They feel just as well made as the original. It doesn't seem like they cut corners. Time will definitely tell. If you already have them, I would not, if I already had all three, I would not replace them. The color on the interior would not entice me to buy the new set and sell the old. I'd keep my original ones. As a matter of fact, I'm debating whether I should now keep my original one of this and let go of the one with the color. But at the same time, I'm like, just like I said, I've bought the set, and maybe just to kind of commemorate or keep the set together, maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know. These are obviously first world problems and kind of silly problems, but something I'm considering, because I certainly don't need 2 size 15s. But it's hard to let go of my one with the date code, and that's just me being weird, being weirdo me. So, but if you don't already have the set and you wanted it a couple of years ago, I would say do not pass it up. Snatch it up at these prices. You don't know. Louis is unpredictable. They may sell these, and then once they're sold out, and they don't put them out there again. They may raise the prices on them. I don't know if they were just testing the market with these. I really don't know. I don't know what their motives are. I do think it's kind of weird and suspicious that they put these out at this price point. Yeah. But the reasons don't matter. Get yours if you really like them and it's in your budget to do. Don't let them pass you by. And if you already have the set and you love the color, yeah, I say sell the ones you have and get the ones with these cool interior colors. I'm not gonna lie, they are cool. I just, for personal preference, if there's one thing that I could say, I would have selected to keep the original color. But I do understand why they put these new colors in, and I'm sure they have additional reasons. Those two that I mentioned are just the two that I could think of. I really like the first two colors of the smaller bags. For some reason, I just don't love this pink, and I can't tell you why. I just don't. But it's not going to keep me from enjoying that bag. Yeah, so I don't want to make this video too long. For those of you who are looking into these pieces, I'm sure you're watching several videos, so mine is probably not telling you anything new, other than offering my opinion as to why they changed the interior lining, and maybe even showing you, I don't know how many people out there will have all three to compare, you know, the new with the old. Of course, I've just got this one, and I mean, I've looked at it every which way, and they really do look pretty much the same. I was trying to see if the hardware was any different. I mean, if it is, they're minor and slight differences because I'm not seeing them. But yeah, that is pretty much it for me, you guys. Hope you enjoy the day. All right, bye.